hopefully we're going to build on that a little bit this week and have a great week and try to go into week 10. Instead of you guys worried about pumpkin pie or apple pie or whatever, you can worry about we got a shot to win the Big Ten. That's all I got.
Well, you talked about you wanted Ohio State match to be a learning opportunity. What lessons can Nebraska take from that to your position going out of the Big Ten this season?
Just some things that happen into it that we can teach from. Ohio State's a very experienced team. They played great, and they showed us where we have to get better.
Such as?
Well, that would be a volleyball 101 clinic, but we have to kill more balls is one thing. We passed great, and we can't make serving errors a game point, and we got to serving tough when we need it, and those are some big things. And there's a lot of little things that we don't have enough time today. These guys are all on their phones already just on that question. So.
Why, at least in your radio interview, were you not as disappointed as you might be after a match like that has some big implications?
Ohio State played great. I mean, they London beat us. Their setter was great. They played at a really high level, and we were right there with them, and we had our chances. So it's, and again, we played some of the best volleyball we've played all year. I mean, game one might have been better than a national championship level match. I mean, it was insane volleyball. So it's hard to be disappointed. Of course, I look at it as, okay, we got a chance to get better now. If we come in this week and pout, then you'll see me get fired up in a different way. But we got a lot of teaching moments out of this match that we can teach from, and our players have got to take advantage of that. And I still think we can get better this time of year. So.
Do you like how the schedule sets up? With last week and then the next 2 weeks, you have just weekend matches where you can spend a lot of time in the gym to work on those small details?
Yep, like it.
What does that allow you to do as opposed to midweek matches?
It just gives you a couple days in the middle of the week to really work on you and train and spend some time as opposed to just trying to manage. Okay, I got to keep them fresh for a Wednesday. We got to recover. We got one day to prepare for a Saturday match. So that part of it is I like it, and I think it's good for us. The bad part is players never get a day off because Monday is school. It's not like they get a day off. I was talking to one of our players yesterday and saw her, and I just said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm going to go decompress for the next 6 hours." So it's just she already did her classwork, whatever, and she just was going to go chill somewhere for the rest of the day because it's they never feel like they get a day off. That's the negative of the Friday, Sunday.
When you get to this time of year, how important is that kind of mental side and trying to stay fresh? Obviously, physically, you're run down by this point in the season, but mentally, how do you stay on top of things? It's all about recovery. So it's about sleep. It's about their diet. It's about trying to get a break away. Like she says, she's going to go decompress, getting a mental break. We do mindfulness training that helps them with that. So the teams that manage that the best will be the teams that are playing the best here in the next few weeks.
And just a game back in the Big Ten. Do you address it? Do you talk about the Big Ten anymore? You got to just take care of your business, win, and just hope that.
Well, right now it's just win the next point. So they know what's at stake. We're still right there. We're playing. Everybody's playing everybody. So there's going to be a lot. The next how many days? The next 12 days. There's going to be a lot of big matches with a lot on the line. So it's great, and we're in the thick of it.
Anything else?
Okay, thanks.
It's not coming back. You know. First of all, we want to start off by sending our condolences to the University of Virginia football program, the family and the friends and teammates of those involved in the tragedy, and to Coach Tony Elliott and his entire community. The Nebraska football program is thinking about them and praying for them during this difficult time. That's a sad situation that happened up there. Okay, we have 12 players that's going to walk on Senior Day. That'll be a part of Senior Day. And some of them that's going to be playing their last game in Huskers Stadium. You know, we want anybody considering walking that's going to be on our team next year. We want you to walk, so we want you to have that experience of Senior Day. Commend our seniors through a lot of transition. They haven't got the wins that they wanted, but they've been stand-up kids, you know, for this program. They gave their all for this program. Questions?
Mickey, do you have an update on Casey's status and health?
Yes. Okay, Casey practiced today. He made some throws, so we're still going to take him day by day and see how he feels on game day. But I expect him to be able to practice every day. But we don't know at what volume that he'll be able to throw it.
Did he rep in team drills today then?
Yes, he repped in team drill today.
How's Logan doing?
Logan was better today. He's been a little beat up, but he was better today, and he threw the ball around a little bit, and he ran pretty well today.
How's Chubba?
Chubba's out, high ankle sprain, so we'll get him in surgery in 2 or 3 days.
And Mark Whipple, will he continue to call from the box from here on out, or do you have an update just on how quick football's doing?
Well, Sean, maybe you can convince him, because I told him in the beginning to go to the box, okay? And he got wiped out. So it was bad. But I think he's going to go to the box now. Andrew's going to be in charge of that. So if it doesn't happen, it's on Andrew. But, yeah, I think he's going to go to the box.
On the QBs, just with the guys who are a little lower down, they're kind of factoring in now, like Derek Sinek. What sort of is, I guess, sorted out who's where and who made the travel roster?
But Sinek, he repped today with the second unit. So he'll be the next guy up, and I'm sure Torres. We'll look at Torres if we need Torres, but Sinek, he repped today.
What kind of things would you be looking for from Casey to see if he can go or not? I mean, how do you arrive at that decision?
See how the ball's coming out of his hand. You know, he's going to make good decisions, but I want to see how the ball's coming out of his hand, make sure it's not any nerve damage or any pain with the throwing. And then we'll figure it out from there. Like I told you before, I'm not going to play him if he's in pain. If he can't play at a high level, I won't play him, Seth. I won't play him.
What was your takeaway from Logan's effort at Michigan?
I thought Logan had a decent effort. I thought he didn't see it well. You know, he had Trey running down the middle field for a touchdown. He didn't see it, and he's looking right at him, and he just didn't see him. But, you know, like I said, that kid needs reps. And he had a lot of reps last week, but I guess it wasn't enough. But Logan, when he comes in, he gives his all. He gives everything that he has. He's a tough kid.
Mickey, if Casey can't play and Chubba's already out, who's your backup to Logan?
Jared will be. Yeah.
Miles Farmer be available?
Miles back. Miles is back. He practiced today. Practiced well today.
What did you make of Ernest Hausman's performance on Saturday and just the way he continues to develop? And obviously that was a big stage for him.
I think Barrett has done a really good job with Haas because he's playing at a high level and he's getting better every week. So I like where he's at right now. I mean, he was a puppy coming in here. He's a high school kid. So he learned how to play this game at a high level, and he's playing at a high level right now. We're really excited about his future.
Jared Sinek, we don't know too much about him. How has he moved up ahead of some guys? What's he done?
Well, I think because when you look at it as a coach, he's the most athletic one. Because if you got to go to a third guy, you want him to be athletic. You don't want them all to be the same. So he can go in there and give you some run game and throw it a little bit. So that's where we're at right now.
Is Harburg, what's been his progression? Is he hurt, or what's his situation?
He's not hurt. He's not hurt.
Okay.
No.
What about Alante Brown and then Phelan Sanford? I know both those guys got hurt in that game. Are they available this week? Where are they at?
We're going to see where Alante's at. When he tried to leap over the guy, that was a crazy fall. But I think he felt better today. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. And Phelan practiced today.
You a fan of guys trying to jump over players?
I'm a fan of guys that are trying to get it done any means necessary, and that's what he had to do. And that's what you want on your football team. You know what he said after that play? I'm trying to win the football game, And that's what you want. That's what some teams like where we are right now, that's what we're missing. Just that extra grit that I'm going to lay my body on the line to help this team win a football game. And I like that Alante. That's why I always ride with Alante, because at the end of the day, I know he's going to go to battle, and he's going to give you 100%.
That play, I mean, did you cringe at all when you saw him do that?
Absolutely. When he jumped like that, I was like, oh, just don't come down on your head. You know, but he hit the back of his neck, so that wasn't any better. But I did cringe a little bit because, like you said, they're my boys, and when they go through pain, I go through pain. But I was excited about the effort and the statement he made after that. But he's a Chicago kid now. He's tough. I'm sure that's not the first time he fell on his neck. You know, in Chicago they play football on the concrete, so he probably fell on the concrete. He's a good kid.
How do you recruit, cultivate, and develop grit?
You got to find it. You got to find them when you're recruiting them. I know somebody said that I offered a quarterback with no stars or some FCS offers, and if I would have listened to that person about Justin Jefferson, I would have never got Justin Jefferson, because he was a 2,100 player ranked in the country when he came out. So we're going to go by evaluation. So when we're evaluating the kid, we're looking for that grit. We're looking for that finish on every play. So you got to look at it before you bring him here.
How proud were you of Justin's performance on Sunday?
Absolutely. I talked to him a week ago because he was going up for jump balls, but he was going up with his chest. And I said, just fight through with your hands and try to get your hands on the ball. But, I did drills at LSU, helped him do that. No joking.
Mickey, you talked about recruiting after the game at Michigan, and Sam asking you about that. With USC and UCLA coming in a little bit, I guess just kind of how does that change the recruiting landscape in the Big Ten?
Well, you're going to have to go to Cali. You're going to have to go to Cali, but I don't think it makes sense to go to Cali and go get a 6 or 7. I don't think you go out there to get a 6 or 7 best player, because you got USC out there, you got UCLA out there, you got Washington out there. You got to understand, kids from the West Coast, they tend to stay close to home, because one thing Lincoln's not going to be is California, never. We said the same thing when I was at LSU. We didn't go out there a lot because California kids, they kind of want that place to be Cali, and it's not. So we're going to continue to go where we've been going, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Jersey, and Kansas City, St. Louis, and then here in the home state. So we're going to go out there, but we're not going to go out there and just say, okay, we're satisfied. We're going to go out there. We're going out there to get a draft pick.
And Mickey, the first 9 weeks for you have been obviously very challenging in the situation. Just how much more challenging now will these next 2 weeks be, navigating the program with some of the unknowns that you guys don't really know coming up after the next week or two?
Well, that's what I said in the beginning. We're going to control what we can control. And right now it's a 2-game season, and we talked about that with the players. It's a 2-game season, and now the most important thing on the schedule is Wisconsin, and let's go at Wisconsin, but control what you can control.
Mick, you've got 7 games under your belt now as head coach. Other than recruiting, which you talked about after the Michigan game, what, in your mind, now that you have this experience, what is it going to take the next head coach, whether it's you or somebody else, to be successful at this program? What's it going to take to get this program?
Roster management, a more competitive roster, and understand what you need to do in this conference on the offense side of the ball and the defense side of the ball, and then special teams, because it's a different makeup with the conference. So you got to understand that. Then you also got to understand where you're at. You got to understand that you don't sit in the middle of Texas, the middle of Louisiana, the middle of Georgia, that you got to be able to go down there and convince those kids to come up here. So he's got to understand that recruiting's going to be a big part. Whoever sits in that chair, recruiting's going to be a big part, and you got to want to work, because it's not like working when you're at Georgia, because they right there. You got to work here. You got to work. So whoever takes this job, they better be ready to work.
Is it a different roster configuration that you think you need in the Big Ten compared to what you saw in the SEC? Is there differences?
Well, I think it comes down to depth. You got to have more depth. You got to have, instead of having 12 offensive linemen, you got to have 15 or 16. Instead of having 12 D linemen, you got to have 15 or 16. You got to have 12 receivers. You got to have 4 quarterbacks. You just got to have depth, and it's got to be competitive. Like, it can't be a big drop off from 1 to 2. So if you get a competitive roster where they're competing, that's going to make the team better.
Why do you think you need more depth in the Big Ten?
Because you bang a whole bunch. You play in the middle of the field. SEC, you cover every inch of the field. But in the Big Ten, you play in that phone booth. So you're gonna lose some kids because you know what I'm saying. Except they hitting each other like bam, bam, bam. So if I hit you like that 3 times, you and I, both of us, gonna be sore. You know. So you got to have depth. You got to be able to play. You know, I said 6 to 8 D linemen. You got to be able to play 4 to 5 linebackers. Just because you're getting so much banging in the 65 to 70 plays of just banging. That's what I'm learning about this conference.
Why are the defenses in this league it's so far ahead of the offenses?
I couldn't tell you that. So I better watch how I answer that question. You know, so I couldn't tell you why they're so far ahead, but every week is a really good defense. You know, it's a really good defense. They're all in the top 10. So you got to take your hat off to those programs and to those head coaches, to those coordinators. But it's really good defense in this conference.
Is there an area or two in the country that you feel like this program could attack in recruiting that it hasn't really tried to enter, I guess, to try to increase the landscape?
No, I think they attacked, you know, Texas. I think they did the same thing. You know, we just got to be more aggressive when we go down there. We got to do a really good evaluation when we go down there and make sure we're getting the right kids up here. Make sure when the kid comes in the door that he's equipped, he's ready to play. And if he's not ready to play, he's a year away now. Let's continue to develop him. But I think you got to go down south. You got to go where the heat's at. You got to go where they're playing big time high school football. Not that they don't play it here, you know. But if you know the routine, Texas and Louisiana, Georgia, you know, everybody's down there.
Mickey, have you been updated on your status and how difficult has this last 7-8 weeks been for you in this transition?
I don't think it's been difficult because I've been having fun, you know, getting it done, you know, because I'm coming in every day to get a job done. I haven't gotten the results that we wanted, but it's a great feeling being around these kids and being around these coaches. They top-notch people. They not one person in this building has given up. Everybody comes in and fight. Y'all see them? They fighting to the end. You could be in a situation right now where they could have gave up 6 weeks ago, but they didn't. You know, so I'm having fun. I'm good. I mean, don't worry about Mickey. Mickey's gonna be okay.
But nobody said, "Hey, Mickey, let's talk about this after the season."
No. They don't, I don't think it works like that. I think if they want to interview you after the season, they'll let you know, or they'll tell you that a head coach coming in. I'm prepared for whatever.
What have you seen from Wisconsin? They obviously hired their head coach too. You've seen a lot of changes. What have you seen from the Badgers?
Well, no, they, like I said, it real good defense, and they like to run the football. It's no secret, and they hadn't changed much. They play hard. They don't do a lot, but what they do well, and they don't make mistakes.
Is there running back any different stylistically than the previous 3 that you faced?
Oh yeah, you see how big he is. He's a big old dude. He's about 6'2", 235. He's a really, really good running back. He's probably one of the best running backs we've seen this year. I mean, we've been seeing the really good backs in the country, and the Big Ten has them. But this kid's special. And somebody told me he was 18 years old. I mean, to be that big and be 18, that's special. But he's a really good back.
There was reports last week about people reaching out to Braylon Allen in Wisconsin, other programs. Do you worry about that for Nebraska kids getting, contacted by other schools, poaching kids?
No, because if somebody does, the kids will tell you. They'll let you know who reached out to them. I mean, I'm sure, it's happening. It's no secret.
Yeah, you opened with your comments on Virginia. In your path of coaching career, have you encountered a situation where there was a dramatic and traumatic death of player or players on the team that you were at?
No. And I mean, that's sad because I know the kid that's in critical condition, Mike Hollins, the kid from Baton Rouge. I know him and his father. We recruited him at LSU, and he went to University High. That was right on our campus. But that's a sad situation. It's something that you don't want anybody to have to deal with. You take your heart off to those parents and to the coaches and to the administration. It's a sad day out there. It's a sad day, and you can continue to pray for them and uplift them and be there for them if they need you.
Probably not in the job description for a
No,
coach
it's not.
to know how to deal with that.
No, it's not in the job description, but they're dealing with it, and it's a sad situation.
You mentioned senior day too. How different is the dynamic of that day these days in the portal era when you have COVID years to factor into it? Like, how do you sort of take in and appreciate the moment with so much uncertainty?
Well, you can have 2 senior days. You can walk this year and come back and have another senior day. So you get it. You know, you're gonna have some kids that's gonna walk, you know, and then they're gonna sit down and talk to you at the end of the year and say, Coach, I want to come back. Then I'm sure they're gonna walk again next year. So that's okay.
Like, will Trey Palmer walk? You know, have you talked to Trey if he's gonna do senior day?
No, Trey's not gonna walk. I didn't think so.
Do you have those conversations with those guys now about whether they'll walk, or do they just tell you? Or how
They
does
just
that
tell
work?
us if they want to walk or not. Andrew did a really good job of doing that. They go to Andrew and tell Andrew, but they'll tell you.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
All right.
Garrett, are you gonna walk on senior day, or do you have an idea kind of how you're gonna handle Saturday?
I'm not walking.
You plan to be back and plan for Nebraska?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not gonna walk.
How complicated is that, just to decide the extra year, the unknown of the head coach, just all the things in your guy's mind like yourself with this game on Saturday?
Yeah. A lot of questions need to be answered with decisions and stuff like that, but I can't really tell you because I don't really know. So, yeah.
Balance the unknown for the next several weeks, whatever.
Don't worry about it. I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to put energy into it. I'm going to worry about how we can go win this game and how we can play as a defense.
How hard is that, though, to compartmentalize things? You're human.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all those deep talks with Reimer and Nick help a lot. Dr. Haskell does a great job, and just as friends, we talk to each other about, because everybody's in the same boat. You know, we all have our kumbaya sessions, so we talk to each other and we kind of vent our frustrations or feelings or what's going on, and the unknown is a lot scarier than the known. So we talk about it and help each other out.
You kind of have a PhD now and facing really good running backs in the Big Ten. What's challenging about Braylon Allen? Remembering last year.
Really big back, really explosive. He's people were saying that he was NFL ready at 17 or 18 years old, which is incredible for him. That's awesome. But like it's just a really big back, and it's obviously Wisconsin's known for having really good offensive linemen who run behind them, and when you have a back like that, behind a really good offensive line, you see the seasons he's having. So
he's different from a Blake Corum, though. Like,
yeah.
Now that you've faced Blake, and he's he'll probably win the deal. How good is he? How much better was he even from last year?
Just with Blake, just a shorter. It was almost like a Muhammad, but shiftier. Muhammad wanted to run through you. Blake wanted to. He was kind of both. If he could have made you miss, he would. If he knew that he had good leverage, he would just run through you. Watching film on Braylon, he's shiftier. Even with his size, he's still really shifty. So I'm guessing he's going to use his size and that shiftiness to his advantage when he hits holes.
Here, what characterizes this senior class for as long as you've known?
Grit. They've been through a lot, man. We've been through a lot, as a team, but especially them going through a lot of years of adversity, and they've come back every year with enthusiasm and the opportunity to lead and the want to lead and do well and help those young guys out and to get better in their positions and develop them.
When you think of that class, who do you even think of? I mean, you've had a few guys that have been here for 4 or 5 years. You've had some other guys who are here for a few months.
Yeah.
Who do you think of when you think of that class?
In my position, I think Caleb and how far he's come as a person and as a player, being kind of a problem child for a little bit, and then all of a sudden stepping into a captain role and being a motivator and just kind of turning his work ethic and his perception on the team around. And, highly respected player, great dude, turned himself into a leader. And then another one that comes to mind is Travis Vokalek, transferring in and helping that tight end room out a ton and being a vital part of our team. And another guy that stepped into a captain role. leadership role, and is very critical to the team and has been very critical to the team since he's been here. Those are the two that are off my mind. I'm thinking about right now, and I love those guys to death. And Caleb's kind of been the start sheet to my hutch a little bit on the other side of the line. So, losing a partner, but yeah, they've done awesome.
Garrett, what's impressed you most about Ernest Hausman?
Just his development, how early he's developed. You can see the difference how he's played in the beginning to the end of the season, and how much those game reps helped him early, and how that's translated to the end of this season. How much he's improved in his play. He's handled a lot of things as a young guy really well. Playing middle linebacker in the Big Ten, or just playing middle linebacker period, is a hard thing to do. You kind of have to be a computer out there and do your own job really well. And being a freshman, true freshman in the Big Ten, and handling all that is next to impossible. And he's done a really good job about it, and that's credit to the leaders in that room. That's credit to Coach Root of helping him out and getting him ready for these big games.
Is there an encouraging part to you about how Hausman's one of them, but Hartzog and Javen Wright got out there for more snaps? Some of those guys who could be around a bit, how they're coming along.
Yeah, it's awesome. Because obviously you see those guys every day working, and what they've been through and what's happening that behind the scenes that not everybody sees, because you're with them every day and you know what they're going through, and how hard they're working and grinding and wanting to be out there. And when they do and they excel in that opportunity, when they're out there, it's you can't feel nothing but warmness and happiness inside for them. It's awesome to see, and hope you guys saw how excited I was when Ernie hit the quarterback. So it's just awesome to watch those guys play and excel in their roles when their opportunity comes.
How tough is that play to make that sack he had where
pulling up the QB,
he accelerated? I mean, just could you, as a player, could you speak to what he did there?
Obviously JJ is a pretty shifty quarterback. Running out in open space, and Ernie having a one-on-one big boy tackle out there. He could go two ways, either way, and shot his leverage, shot his guns, and got a sack in a critical situation. And that's one of, if not the hardest tackle to make, just as a defensive player. Period. And when you have no help, and you have a really good shifty ball carrier.
Garrett, first 4 games of the season, you had one sack and 1 tackle for loss. But since Indiana, you've had nearly 5 sacks and 8 tackles for loss. Since the beginning of Indiana into now, what have you been seeing, or what have you been maybe doing differently to improve your play?
It's just been the teams that we played. Those first 5 games, they chipped, slid, they either did 3-step or quick game. So, and some of the sacks that I didn't get were forced interceptions. So, he gave it to either guy, and they give it to him, which is fine because hopefully win the game. But it's just stuff like that. We in the D-line room, we know about it and we care about it, and we see it, and we see it on film. Getting pressures, getting hits, and forced interceptions, and seeing us or myself in the backfield a ton. So just different options and different teams, and just our improvement as a defense and knowing where we fit, but just how the offenses are and how they scheme us or me, or just their offense as a whole is just a lot more drop back pass and a lot more 3rd and longs.
Garrett, last home game of the season, what's your message to the fans who have stuck with you guys through the challenges of this year?
They mean the world to us, because as a Nebraska kid, and knowing how much this team and this university means to the state and these people, as a Nebraska kid that sees that, and the constant support and love that we get for our team means everything to us. And keeping showing up and through adversity just kind of tells you the type of people we have in the state and the heart that they have. So there's no words. I can't really thank them enough. Just gratefulness and thanks.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
What are your emotions going to be like on Saturday, Travis? All the ups and downs of your college career.
Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions. You know, a lot of good times, a lot of great relationships that have been built throughout my college career. And, you know, this weekend after the game, it didn't really hit me that this was my last time ever running out of Memorial until I was laying in bed, you know, Sunday night at about 10, and I was like, holy cow. You know, time flies, even being, this is my 6th year. It seems like I've been in college forever, but, you know, it flew by really quick. So a lot of mixed emotions. You know, I'm going to miss everything about this university. But yeah, it'll be a little different, but at the end of the day, got to focus up, and because we got a football game to play, we want to win. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
On the team's success been there, how valuable do you think it would be? How meaningful to beat a team like Wisconsin? Nebraska hasn't beaten them in 10 years to end this thing on a more positive.
Yeah, you know, it'd be a huge deal. You know, Coach Mick today in our team meeting put up 2012 on the board, and that's the last time that we beat Wisconsin. So it'd be a huge deal. You know, they're a great football team. It's a big challenge. Really good on defense, really fundamentally sound on both sides of the ball. So we're going to have to play really well. But, you know, guys were excited this morning back into practice. The energy was there. There's no giving up. So we're ready to attack this game, and we can't wait for Saturday.
How tough has the quarterback situation has been to mentally manage each of them, just not knowing kind of plan?
Yeah, it's been different. But, you know, at the end of the day, we've got a bunch of ballers in that room that, you know, whoever can, you know, all those guys can sling it. They know the whole offense. So whoever ended up playing each week, you know, we've been confident in them every week. But it's definitely been different.
Can you give some background on Sinek, just kind of how he emerged? Because
Yeah.
I think 99% of Nebraska fans, he's not probably on the radio.
Yeah. So, you know, he's a baller himself. He's from Hastings. You know, no one really knew of him until he started practicing, and, you know, he was doing some really good things on scout team. And the coaches realized that, and, you know, he had the opportunity to travel with us this last week. But, you know, he's a great kid, you know, just a Nebraska kid, very humble, hardworking kid who's really good, and knows what to do in the right situations. So.
Can you describe his game? Like, what's he do well out there?
Yeah, you know, you can ask all the other guys on the team. We've got like little, you know, on Fridays we have like a little young guy deal that go out there and do 7-on-7 and stuff. And, you know, it seems like every ball that man's throwing is in the perfect spot every time. And he knows the offense, you know, in and out. And, you know, he's going to eventually be a great leader as well. You know, he's there for his teammates. And, you know, he's a baller. So, you know, I'm super happy for him that he got the opportunity to travel with us. And, you know, he's gonna be a really good football player.
Travis, what have you seen from Wisconsin on film, and what do you have to be ready for on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, like I said before, very fundamentally sound football team, very physical football team, just like Michigan was. And, you know, we've got to be ready, you know, when we're blocking this week. You know, they got some pretty good guys on the edge. That is going to be tough for the tight ends to block. So we got to be really keyed in on footwork and driving and pad level and different stuff like that. And then on their back end, you know, they've got some really good guys back there as well. So we really got to find the holes in the defense and attack them in both the run and the pass game.
Other questions for Travis?
All right, thanks, guys.